What's up guys, I'm the UFC consultant and today we got UFC Vegas 98 Tatsuro Taira versus Brandon Royval. And I'm going to break down the full card with my picks, including some juicy underdog bets and how I see each fight playing out. And at the end of the video I will drop my official bets as usual. Quick recap on last week. We absolutely crushed it. We went 10 for 12 on our predictions, arguably 11 out of 12 since we had a robbery, but we still ended off with 2.13 units and net profit at a 42.6% ROI. So let's keep the momentum going guys and get right into the breakdowns. Our first fight on the card, we got Clayton Carpenter taking on Lucas Rocha, and I got Carpenter as the pick. Carpenter is a real problem when it comes to wrestling. He's got a relentless style, and once he gets his hands on you, it's hard to shake him off. Rocha, on the other hand, has decent stand-up, but struggles when he's pressured or taken down. Carpenter's ability to mix his striking with his grappling should allow him to keep Rocha guessing. Rocha may try to keep it standing, but I see Carpenter eventually finding a way to take him down, control the fight on the mat, and either grind out a decision or lock in a submission. Carpenter is my pick here. Next up, we got Dan Argueta facing off against Cody Haddon. I'm picking Haddon in this one, and he's sitting at minus 170, which seems fair. Haddon is an explosive fighter with great fundamentals and has shown solid durability. Argueta is tough, no doubt, but I think Haddon's overall skill set is sharper, his striking is crisper, and his ground game is sound enough to fend off Argueta's pressure. If Haddon can keep this fight in the middle of the cage and avoid getting into clinch exchanges or being pushed against the cage, he'll find openings to pick Argueta apart. Haddon by decision is likely, but I wouldn't be surprised if he catches Argueta with something big. Haddon's the pick here. Next up, we got a women's strawweight bout. Julia Polastri taking on McKenna. I'm going with Polastri here. She's a fighter who brings relentless aggression, and I think that pressure will overwhelm McKenna. McKenna's got solid wrestling, but she tends to struggle when she's forced into defensive mode. And Polastri is the type of fighter who's always in your face and doesn't give her opponents room to breathe. I expect Polastri to push the pace, force McKenna into uncomfortable positions, and rack up the damage, either through volume striking or by securing top control if it hits the ground. Polastri is my pick, and I think she gets it done in a gritty, hard-fought decision. Next, we got a fun welterweight matchup. Themba Gorimbo takes on Niko Price, and my pick is Gorimbo. Gorimbo's reach, striking, and versatility are going to be key here. He's got that lanky, awkward style that could be tough to deal with, especially for someone like Price, who loves to brawl and get on the inside. Price is known for his knockout power and unorthodox striking, but I think Gorimbo's ability to mix it up will keep him at bay. Don't forget, Gorimbo's grappling is underrated, and I expect him to use that to neutralize Price if things get wild on the feet. Gorimbo might have to weather an early storm, but I see him outlasting Price and using his reach, using his wrestling to secure the win here. Here's another fun fight. We got Jonathan Pearce taking on Pat Sabatini. My pick here is Pearce, and it's because of his relentless wrestling and pace. Pearce is a guy who just doesn't stop. He'll keep coming forward, shoot for takedowns, and drag you into deep waters. Sabatini is no slouch on the ground either though. He has a solid submission game, but Pearce's style of non-stop pressure is a nightmare for a lot of fighters in this division. If Pearce can avoid getting caught in a submission and keep Sabatini on the defensive, he's going to grind out a win here. I see this going the distance with Pearce racking up control time and landing ground and pound and winning a decision here. And now we got our featured prelim. CJ Vergara versus the UFC newcomer Ramazan Temirov. And I got Temirov as the pick. Temirov is a minus 310 favorite for a reason. He's got serious speed, power, and finishing ability, which is rare in the flyweight division. Even though he's making his UFC debut, don't let that fool you. He's coming in with a lot of momentum and he's dangerous. 59% of his wins come by way of knockout, and that's impressive at 125 pounds. Vergara is tough, he's a dog, and he has a lot of heart. But I think Temirov's explosiveness and quickness are going to be too much here. I expect Temirov to either find a finish or win a dominant decision in his debut. Temirov is the pick. Opening up our main card, we got Abdul Razak Alhassan taking on Josh Fremd. I'm going with Alhassan here. This guy's a knockout machine, and he was on his way to dusting Cody in his last fight before that unfortunate ending. Alhassan has power in both hands and isn't afraid to engage in a firefight. Fremd is tough, no doubt, and has shown some flashes of potential, but I don't think he could handle the power of Alhassan. If this fight stays on the feet, which I think it will, Alhassan should find a home for one of his big shots. Alhassan is my pick, and I'm expecting a highlight reel evisceration here. Here we got a welterweight bout between Daniel Rodriguez and Alex Morono, and I'm going with Rodriguez. Main reason is I can't bet on Morono, guys. He's been way too inconsistent lately, and his performances haven't been impressive. Meanwhile, Rodriguez has shown that he's capable of hanging with some tough competition. Morono's wild, but that does leave openings, and Rodriguez is the kind of fighter who can exploit those. He's got the crisper boxing and more polished striking. As long as he could avoid Morono's unorthodox strikes and keep this fight technical, Rodriguez should cruise to a win here. Rodriguez is the pick. Next up, we got what will probably be a boring fight. We got Grand Dawson taking on Rafa Garcia, and I'm picking Dawson to get the win here. This is one of those matchups where I expect a lot of grappling, but Dawson's wrestling will be the difference here. He's known for his control on the ground, and even though it might not be the most exciting fight, Dawson is likely to dominate in terms of control and top position. Garcia is tough and will try to make it scrappy, but Dawson's wrestling should neutralize him. Dawson is my pick, and I expect him to get the decision win here. Next up, we got a fun fight at welterweight, and I'm feeling really confident about Chidi Njokuani in this one. Chidi has the perfect skill set to handle Gooden. He's the taller, longer fighter, and he's got a fantastic jab that should keep Gooden at range. Gooden has big power, but he struggles against fighters who could control the distance, and Chidi has shown he could do just that. Gooden has also lost to Randy Brown, who has a very similar style to Chidi, so I see this fight playing out in a similar way. Chidi is my pick, and I think he picks Gooden apart to either win a decision or by evisceration. And now we got our co-main event. I'm rolling with Brad Tavares as the underdog here. Tavares is a veteran of the game, and he's been in there with some of the best middleweights in the world. Park is a tough fighter with solid striking, but I think Tavares' experience and technical striking will be enough to outpoint him. This one could be close, but I'm banking on Tavares to use his veteran savviness to pull off the upset. Tavares is the pick. And for our main event of the evening, we have Brandon Royval taking on Tatsuro Taira. I'm taking Royval as our underdog of the week here at plus 200, and there are a few reasons for that. First, Royval has been at the top of the flyweight division for a while now. He's gritty, durable, and has faced some of the best competition out there. Taira, on the other hand, is undefeated, but I wasn't impressed with his last fight against Alex Perez. Taira clearly lost the first round and didn't look great until Perez injured his knee. It's also important to know that Taira has never gone past 3 rounds in his career, while Royval has been in some absolute wars and thrives in those gritty, chaotic situations. I think Royval drags Taira into deep waters here, tests his gas tank, and pulls off the upset here. Royval is my pick. And now we move to my official bets for UFC Vegas 98. Starting off with our straight bets, we have 3 of them. We got half a unit on Brad Tavares plus 3.5 at minus 150. What does that mean? That means if Brad Tavares wins, that bet cashes. If that fight goes to decision, as long as Tavares loses by 3 points or less on all the judges' scorecards, the bet cashes. I don't think Jun Young Park is some super elite guy that's just gonna walk right through Brad Tavares, and I see this fight being close, so I really like the value here. Next, we got 0.35 units on our underdog of the week, Brandon Royval at plus 200. This line is so disrespectful, guys, and I like the value here. Tatsuro Taira is a hell of a fighter, but you can't count Brandon Royval out. Next, we have a prop bet on him. 0.1 units on Brandon Royval to win by decision at plus 430. I like the value. And again, we're not throwing a whole bunch of units on him, but I do like the value on him. Next, we move to our parlays. We have 6 of them. Our first one, the 2 fights to start off the card. We got 0.3 units on Clayton Carpenter and Cody Haddon on the money line at plus 133. Our second parlay, we got 1/4 of a unit on Polastri and Rodriguez on the money line at plus 149. Our next parlay, we got 3/4 of a unit on Themba Gorimbo and Alhassan on the money line at plus 108. Next, we got 0.6 units on Pearce and Temirov on the money line at plus 111. And next, we got our prop bet parlay of the week. We got 0.15 units on Alhassan by KO TKO and Dawson by decision at plus 242. And our final parlay, which is our safety parlay of the week, we got 1.06 units on Dawson and Njokuani on the money line at minus 106. And that does it for my bets so far, guys. I'll add more to the comments if I end up placing more. And that's the full card breakdown and my official bets so far for UFC Vegas 98. Make sure to comment below with your picks. Let's see if you're riding with me or you're going in a different direction. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss on more breakdowns and betting tips. I'm the Ultimate Fighting Consultant, and I'll see you in the next one.